Hey guys, it's week 7, and I was thinking about last week and talking about watching the Son of God movie, and I was talking to people about that, and I'm thinking two things. One, it's pretty cool that this year they have God's Not Dead, Son of God, Noah, Heaven is for Real. I don't know. There's just a whole bunch of good movies coming out that are just telling the story, telling Bible stories. It's like the Bible is now being played in Hollywood, and I think that's kind of cool. And so I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about this is the year that the Lord is gonna. It's not just pushed by the church, but also pushed in the media. Which is really cool. Whether the I don't know the people making them, whether they're trying to make money off it or not. I mean, it's still getting the truth out there, and I think that's really cool. But I was thinking about all these, just about that, and then I'm doing my devotion at work the other day, and I get a couple verses. It's first one is in Ephesians 5:14, and it says, "For anything that becomes visible is light. Therefore it says, awake, O sleeper, and arise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you." Okay, so awake, O sleeper, and arise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you. So I was cross-referencing that with a couple other verses just about being awake and slumbering and sleeping, and I get to Matthew 24:42, and it says, "Therefore stay awake, for you do not know on what day your Lord is coming." Okay, so stay awake, and you know, and then I get to First Thessalonians 5:6. "So then let us not sleep as others do, but let us keep awake and be sober." Um, I really feel like that this is this is the time. God is sending the church a wake up call, and for too long we have been comfortable with where we're at. I know, this last year for me has been a bunch of eye opening. Gets me ready. It's been an eye opening thing that I had an option of either letting it prepare me for something better or letting it defeat me. And it's been a really good year of growth. And so I was talking to a friend of mine, and they were saying that all these bad things keep happening and to them, and they feel like God's punishing them and everything. And I'm like, this last year of growth for me all stemmed out of, like I said previously, something stupid that I did that, was I needed, it needed to be corrected. And, I could have looked at it as God was punishing me, but ultimately I looked at it as an opportunity to learn and grow. And so I don't know, I don't know where everybody's at. I don't know. But, when stuff happens, when situations happens, when times are tough, you know, maybe it's not punishment, maybe it's not, a test or a trial. Well, I guess it is a test and a trial, but like I just maybe God is trying to send you a wake up call. I there's a song by I think it's KJ52, and the lyrics are just wake up. How long have you been asleep? And why are you falling asleep? And it's like I just think of the verses. Going back to the one in Matthew where it says, "Therefore stay awake, for you do not know on what day your Lord is coming." It says that the Lord will come back like a thief in the night. If you knew, if you knew that if somebody sent you a message or called you or whatever, sent you mail or something that told you, I'm coming to steal all of your stuff on this night at this time, you're not going to be sitting around, in your room sleeping, ignoring it. No, you're going to lock your doors. You're going to call the cops. You're going to, going to be out by the door waiting to fight. To keep your stuff. You're going to be prepared to fend off this thief. You're not just gonna you're not gonna go on vacation. You're not going to just take a nap. You're going to be awake and ready. And I feel like that verse, Matthew 24:42, says it. Therefore stay awake. And I feel like we get comfortable in where we're at in our walks, and we get comfortable with the situation we're at, that place that we're at, and we don't. Maybe it's out of fear, maybe it's out of laziness, maybe it's whatever the excuse is. We don't want to. We don't want to get deeper and closer to the Lord. We don't want to grow, because sometimes growth is it's awkward in the growing phase, and I feel like that's where I was. I was to a place where I wanted to grow, I wanted to mature and everything, but there's some growing pains that come with maturing, and it wasn't until I was to a place where I realized that I wasn't growing at all, not just little by little, but not at all, until I realized that I was to a place where I could accept that I needed to do the things that were going to propel me to the next step. And sometimes you don't even realize the problems around you. You don't even realize you get in a habit. You get in a habit of not praying, or you get in a habit of not reading your Bible, or you get in a habit of not fellowshipping with other believers, or maybe you do all those, but maybe you're watching worldly TV, or reading magazines, or video games, whatever that you're doing. Maybe you're doing the right things, but you're doing more of the wrong things, and maybe you're only doing the right things because you're supposed to do the right things, and it's become like a scheduled thing where your heart's not really in it. I've been there at certain times where I'm going to church because it's Sunday. I'm going to read because I have to prepare for a message, and that's not cool. That's not gonna it's not gonna provoke anything greater out of you. That's just gonna keep you where you sit. And I think of in Willy Wonka. I think of the grandfather who couldn't walk, and he just laid in bed the whole time. He just slept, lived, ate, sat up. Everything in that bed. And he didn't even get up. And when it was time to get up, he's it was kind of funny, but he's stumbling around. He's wobbly legged, and that's how we are as Christians. If we just slumber, if we just relax, if we just stay in bed, and we don't do anything, that when the Lord does call us to do something, we get up and we're stumbling and we're wobbly legged, and and we have to be prepared. We have to stay awake, and part of that is being prepared. So no, like I said, I feel like now is the time, in like culturally, I feel like I just listening to messages from people that from pastors that I respect, and talking to God's people, I really just feel like that this is maybe a season for us, that God is trying to tell us to wake up and jump into it wholeheartedly. Yeah, it's different when you jump into it as to when you jump into it wholeheartedly. And so I don't know. I had a lot of excuses why I didn't, and I feel like I know I'm not the only one. Everybody has plenty of excuses why they can't do this or can't do that or won't do this or won't do that. I don't know. The verse says it itself. Matthew 24:42 says it. Therefore stay awake. Do you not, for you do not know on what day your Lord is coming. And so I just encourage you today that if when God gives you the wake up call, when the alarm clock goes off, if you're one of those people who keep hitting the snooze alarm, stop it. Stop hitting the snooze alarm on God. Wake up, get out of bed, put on that full armor, and do what He would have you do today, instead of sitting back and relaxing. And we're supposed to. It's good to relax, and it's good to refresh and everything. But when everything's about us, it's a fine line between taking care of us physically and slacking on what we need to do spiritually. There's times where I will come home from work and it's been a bad night and I didn't get my lunch break and I haven't read my Bible, and there's some nights where it would be easier to go to bed without reading. And some nights, to be honest, some nights I have. But I find it that if I come home on one of those nights and I read my Bible like I'm supposed to, and I pray like I'm supposed to, and I just have fellowship with the Father, that I tend to sleep better. And so, yeah, physically I need to sleep. Physically I would get more sleep if I didn't spend an hour in reading the Bible, and an hour or half an hour, an hour between reading the Bible and prayer. I could rest more. However, I find that when I'm doing His work, when I'm in His will, I tend to rest better. And so, like I said, if you're one of those people, I hate when the alarm clock goes off. In the physical sense, like my phone goes off from the alarm, I could throw it across the room. I hate it. I'm not a morning person. And in our flesh, we're not. We're not a morning person either. And so, I don't know. I just feel like this is a time that God's giving His church a wake-up call. And I feel like as He gives us the wake-up call, we need to start being doers of the Word and not just hearers of the Word. And we should probably quit hitting the snooze alarm on God so that we can get up and see what He would have us do for the day. And, 1 Thessalonians 5:6 says, "So then let us not sleep as others do, but let us keep awake and be sober." There's a lot of things to do in the church. There's a lot of things that this world needs. A lot of things that that the church needs to be doing. And if we're asleep, it's not going to get done. There's reasons why. I just typed in Bible verses about not falling asleep, and I had 2 pages of verses there. So it's not just coincidence. It's in the Word not to fall asleep. Revelation 16:15, "Behold, I am coming like a thief. Blessed is the one who stays awake, keeping his garments on, that he may not go about naked and be seen exposed." And it's like, we have to be ready. We have to have our stuff together so that when we go out, they see Christ through us and not see us. I don't know. I just really feel like that's what I needed to say today was, as God's sending the wake-up call, don't hit the snooze alarm. Wake up and see what He has for you today. And I just encourage you to do that. So I will leave you with that. I love you guys. You have a good day, and I will talk to you again next week. So, God bless.